Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Marketing Matchmaker. I am super excited about today's episode because we're going to have a conversation that is definitely going to dive into marketing, but it's also going to have other pieces about, activating your courage to do something different, to do something that maybe you didn't know that you could do. So today's guest is Grace Johnston, and she's a serial entrepreneur. She used to be a marketer, but now she's doing something completely different in her world. Grace, tell the audience who you are, what you're doing now, and who you serve.
For sure. Thank you. So I'm Grace Johnston. I call myself the rainbow entrepreneur because I've had several service-based businesses over the last 12 years. I started off as a web designer, became a marketing consultant. I landed my dream job as a marketing director with a tech company on the West Coast.
Nice.
And I hated it.
Oh
So I
no.
walked away from a high paying 6-figure job running a marketing team. And I started a landscaping business. And so I am now a landscape designer who still uses all of my tech and marketing chops in my business.
That is fascinating. I mean, quite honestly, what exactly gave you, first of all, what led you to be a landscape designer? Like from marketing to working in the dirt,
I know.
basically.
Completely different realms. I started gardening when I was 7 years old. I absolutely have always loved working with plants. I have no formal education in horticulture, but I am seasoned at starting businesses from scratch and out of thin air with almost no capital. So, so
That's
that
impressive.
part was not new to me. I had bootstrapped a couple other businesses before. And I thought, I wonder what it would be like to work in other people's gardens. And little did I know that I would be still doing this years later, doing $15,000 to $20,000 projects, using Photoshop, talking to clients on Zoom, working on my own website, running paid ads, and doing all of those marketing online things in a completely different industry.
That is awesome because I think it takes a lot of courage to jump from industry to industry, especially when you've got a really solid background in something that you've been known for. So, what was it about your job, the in the market being the marketing director, that dream job that just wasn't so great?
So unfortunately, it was just a really cutthroat corporate culture of hustle and grind and grow the numbers, without any kind of consideration to the company's purpose, their mission, their core values, how we're serving and aligning with clients in a deeper way than other competitors. Um, I have come to find out that I am a very purpose driven person. And so I love working with all the marketing tools in my toolbox and being hard nosed about improving the numbers if it's a purpose driven thing that is closely related to what my heart loves. So completely different realm, but very transferable skills. So I would encourage people to kind of keep in mind if there's something that's niggling at you, that's pulling at your heartstrings, all the skills that you have now could be transferable into something completely different. So
I love that aspect of things, of looking at like the skills you have in a whole different way, that you don't have to stay in one industry or stay someplace that you're not happy, because it's not necessarily what you know. Yes, that's important, but it's how you apply them that is really critical when it comes to a new job, a new career, a new business, whatever that might be for you. So let's talk about marketing for a minute. Give me your marketing background. Let's just let the audience hear kind of what it was you did before you went into landscaping, and then we can start like diving into how you use those skills now.
Yeah, cool. So let's let everybody's brain snack on the marketing geek side of things.
Exactly.
Um, so I went to school for web technologies. I got a really great community college education studying web design, programming, graphic design, and online advertising. So I just jumped into all of those things, started building websites right after I graduated, got cut my teeth as a WordPress web designer, and then started helping small businesses with other things related to marketing that are more closely related to visibility, like um, SEO, um, Google business profiles, small business listings, things that are very relevant to help service based small businesses really get seen among all the competition, the big boys who are spending
Mhm.
thousands of dollars on Google Ads.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once I kind of started doing that, I specialized um, in working with the real estate industry for a long while, doing SEO and paid lead generation funnels, primarily with Facebook and Instagram, and just really creating kind of a combination of like content rich organic strategy with really highly tested paid ad funnels, and combining those two things, um, and doing a lot of content writing, branding, messaging work, and helping all these business owners figure out like who are you really, and how can we make your business a reflection of that, so that you're always 100% authentic and people just get who you are, and you attract people who are a great personality fit to work with you and do business with you.
I love that. Your current business is still a service-based business, right? So it's still in that same kind of space. So how do you use those marketing chops that you developed in your career to really help to elevate the business that you have?
Sure. So I currently work in the landscaping industry, and my technology background, um, although it often puzzles people, and people are like, "What the heck? Like, how is that even anything to do with where you were?" It's actually an enormous competitive advantage for me to have all of these technical skills and all this marketing knowledge and background, because a lot of my competitors are pretty weak in that area. And so, having a nice looking website and having things like branding and messaging and core values and market positioning, and just kind of having experience positioning myself as a really high value, maybe a little high ticket service based provider. I immediately just brought that into my landscape design business, um, and it's been really great for me to be able to do that. So I still do all of my own website design, all of my own graphic design. I use my graphic design shops all the time because I create digital renderings for the gardens that I build. So even though it seems like it would be completely unrelated, I actually use a lot of those skills every day still.
So if you were talking to someone in the service-based industry, I wouldn't ever ask you to give advice to your competitors. That being said, for a lot of my audiences are service-based business owners. They're coaches, consultants in that space. What do you think are the most important things that really do make you set you apart as a high end that attracts high end clients to your business? What is it that sets you apart from everyone else?
So for me, it's 100% um, really honing in on what are you, in what way are you excited to serve? What is the work that you are most excited to do for somebody else where you just, you're in a room full of people and you want to go, me, I know the answer. Let's talk about this. And you can talk somebody's ear off for hours, just like you can about
Yes.
marketing, because you just love to geek out on that thing,
Yeah.
right? If you can find that thing that you love to do for other people, like I love to shop for flowers. Like I love it like ridiculously so. Then you can sell that. And your enthusiasm is kind of like the oil in the machine in terms of your sales process. If your ideal client senses your enthusiasm over Zoom call or discovery call, any kind of sales call, marketing videos that you're doing, they're going to really see that. And that's going to make you stand out every single time. So if you can find your enthusiasm and then communicate and demonstrate value through conversations and your marketing assets, I think you're a shoe-in. People will just see you as the obvious choice.
That's awesome. So, what is it about your business that's different from other landscapers? What's that unique
Oh my
value
god,
proposition?
it's so different. So for me, my value proposition is I give people like a showroom experience. Like when
Mm.
you hire a designer to build a new kitchen for you, you really want, it's a big deal. It's a big spend. You want somebody who's going to like be your friend, hold your hand, get excited about the choices with you, hone you in when you need to be honed in, let you go crazy when you can go crazy, right? And so, just like a high end designer would really take the time to choose flooring and tiles and cabinetry and materials, I really, really try to focus on the client experience of making that number one, super easy, and number two, super fun for
Yeah.
my clients to collaborate with me. And I think that's kind of my secret sauce is like it's all about making it fun and making it easy for the client.
I think that's every business owner, or at least they should be, like, making it really focusing on that client experience should be what all of my audience is doing. And yet I think so often they're not. I think that is definitely something unique.
And
So,
sometimes we forget to have fun as the service provider. If it's not fun for you, your client is going to feel that and they're not really going to be into it either. So for me, making the process more fun for the client and for myself is a huge profit lever because that
yeah.
means I have like limitless capacity that I'm like, all right, let's bring on the next 10 clients. I'm ready. Let's go. This is going to be so fun.
So, do you work locally or are you national? Have you
I I am so sorry. I did not answer
You're
the question.
fine.
So I am blessed to live and work in a huge metropolis. So I live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, I work all over Charlotte, which is a pretty big area. We have lots of beautiful little suburbs around town. So I am local, but I have a big local area.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So you use your marketing in more of a local capacity. So I'm curious for those out there that are like focusing on their local market as opposed to maybe a national market. What's the
Mhm.
difference? What's the difference for you when you're marketing to a local population as opposed to like everybody in the US?
Yeah. So, the cool thing about working locally is you can leverage referrals in a completely different way. So, I have a lot of fun doing that. I focus heavily on generating reviews and testimonials and then publishing those in my online marketing. And I have worked heavily with Nextdoor over the last
Mm,
2.5 years now. I've run ads on Nextdoor. I've won neighborhood favorite on Nextdoor 2 years in a
nice.
row. So there's all these cool things that you can do to generate reviews, gain visibility, communicate your value proposition, showcase your work, and even do things like earn awards that get you even more visibility. That, just that's where I would say about 70% of my website traffic comes from.
That's
And
awesome.
people just click through to my site and then they click through to my Calendly and book a discovery appointment. And I've neither seen nor heard from them until they show up on my calendar. So it's very automated.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. I'm super excited for you. So, one final question for you. Um, what really gave you the courage to step out of what you knew and into something completely different?
Well, I will say it was terrifying. Make no mistake. I felt like I was going against everything that made sense, right? Walking away from a high paying job that was 100% remote and had all of these perks and profit shares. Leaving that behind was a tough choice, but it opened me up to have so much fun in business. And it
Awesome.
really, what it did for me more than anything was number one, I started to really see myself as a boss for the first time, even though I had many years' experience in business. And the second thing it did for me was allow me to enjoy selling again. Because I think, anybody who's in business, if you're in business, you're in sales.
Absolutely.
And if you're not crazy about what you're selling, then your sales performance is going to suffer.
Absolutely.
I love plants and I love gardening, and I could tell you all about how much I love them for the rest of the day. And so selling is easy for me.
That's awesome. I think that's such a good point because we all are in sales. I know people don't like to hear that.
Yep.
And it's true. Nobody wants to think that they're selling something because they have a negative connotation around sales. The reality is everybody that has a business has to be able to sell it. Because it doesn't matter how many leads you bring in yourself or I bring in for somebody or an agency brings in for somebody. If you're not able to close the sale, you're not actually performing a business. So really leaning into what you love will help it make it easier.
100%. Yeah.
So
It's like a fun little beach ball that rolls downhill when you sell what you love.
I love that. I love that. I love that visual. So what is there anything that you would like to share with the audience before we wrap up? Anything that's first of all, if you're in the Charlotte area, how do they get a hold of you?
So I run a company called Queen Bee Gardening. You can find me at queenbeegardening.com. They call Charlotte the Queen City, so that's why I
Nice.
chose that name. And I would say the number one thing that I would share with coaches and consultants and other service-based business owners is um, marketing is often touted as being really fun when it's fancy. But my experience in 4 years of web technology education and 12 years of selling and marketing experience is the simpler, the better.
I
If you
agree.
keep things simple and you keep your focus on making things fun and making things easy for your clients to do business with you, then everything else just kind of falls into place.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Thank you so much for joining us today, Grace. For those of you that are in the Charlotte area and you want a fantastic garden, because if you haven't take an opportunity to look at her website. She does some gorgeous stuff. Otherwise, if you're looking to grow your business, increase your revenue, and scale your impact, marketing is the way. It is what's going to get you there. And it doesn't have to be fancy and it doesn't have to be complex. It just has to be consistent. Until next time, go out there and market your business. Thank you for listening to the Marketing Matchmaker podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear your feedback. Please head over to Apple, iTunes, and leave a review so we can hear from you. And if you are a coach, consultant, or online course creator who are looking to grow your business, increase your income, and scale your impact, connect with me at yourmarketingmatchmaker.com. I look forward to hearing from you.